The thing is, it's not just white cops that do these things, and I can say that it's black cops, and
Black
Spanish cops,
Latino cops.
Do they got Asian cops?
Wow.
It's Vaughn Nola, baby. How's it going? This is Vaughn Nola, and you are watching Coffee Talk. Welcome to my new series that I'm starting here in South Korea, a talk show talking about issues that goes on in America and issues that goes on here in South Korea. Today I'm here with ParkyPark, who is a Twitcher. Is that the proper term?
No, I'm a streamer on Twitch. I stream video games. I like indie games especially, but yeah.
All right. And I'm here with Wonder, and he's just a wonder right now. He's finding himself. So
A little lost.
So for our first episode, we're going to talk about, I guess, a hot topic that's going on in America, which is excessive force from the police in America. So excessive force is a slippery metaphor. You know, some experts feel that excessive force shouldn't go beyond the amount of force that is used towards them in any confrontation and whatnot. But then there's other experts that feel that excessive force is necessary in certain situations. So today we're going to talk about 4 questions. We're going to discuss them, talk about what we think about it and how we feel about the excessive force that is used when it comes to police, mainly because of our background and our jobs, which we're not going to disclose right now. So for the first question, do you think maximum force has become routine now?
Well, I don't think it's become routine, but it's such a hard line. Like, it really is a hard line, I feel like, because I've seen like a video where they took the DA that was fighting against the police force about this kind of thing, and sent him to a training or like that the police go through, where they have to decide in a split second if they have to pull the gun out or not, or they have to resort to violence or not. And he failed all of them like instantly. And it was 3 different like ways where the dude comes out of a truck, and then the DA just shot him for no reason, or like the dude it's like he told him to stop, and then the DA gets killed. I mean, it's just hard to judge for almost anyone, like, ever, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What do you think?
Can you repeat the question just one?
All right, so do you think maximum force has become routine now in America when it comes to police handling certain situations?
I think the idea of you coming home to your family is the key thing that has been behind maximum force.
Yeah.
Is that no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm going home to my family. And I think that there are hundreds of thousands of police officers in the United States that do their job without using maximum force or may downgrade a situation.
Right.
I think what's happening is what, like ParkyPark says, those situations where someone had to react so fast
But they didn't
that
think
they
clearly.
might not have had time to even think clearly. They just reacted, I want to go home to my family. And they reacted in the maximum force way.
So both parts, I understand. I agree with to an extent, and I even heard that comment where cops say, well, I want to go home to my family. I think that is the same concept, a same ideal that military people deal with when they go into stressful situations where they're going into confrontation. We have that same mentality. Okay, look, I want to go home to my family, but at the same time, we are trained and we go through repetitive exercises to make us learn how to properly react under high stressful situations, especially because we are handling weapons that can kill. So I think maximum force in the States has kind of become like the norm in comparison to, you know, how military people are trained to not always lead into maximum force unless the situation truly calls for it.
Well,
you know.
That makes sense, but at the same time, when this leads to like a different topic where if you just listen to whatever the police officer says, like if they say get out of your car or get out of your seat,
Mm-hmm.
then if you do that, there's no need for them to hit you. And if they do, shove you to the ground and whatnot, it's because they don't want you to fight back or hit them in any way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like they're hurting you, and if they do hurt you later, then you have a case against them. So
Right.
it's not like it's gonna affect you negatively just to listen to them until something bad happens.
Now, there are some situations where people are already handcuffed and the cops just
That's true.
yeah,
Oh, yes. Excessive
and the
force.
cops goes to town. So
Yeah.
that one I think everyone can agree with. Okay, if the person is handcuffed, the
Yeah.
person's apprehended now, that's when all force should stop.
Yeah.
Now that is situations that's cut and dry. Okay, hey look, the guy stopped. Or even some cases, if the person's back is towards the police, they're no longer a threat. You know, because in Louisiana, I know in New Orleans that you can't shoot at you can't shoot at a person if they're back towards you because they're no longer a threat because their back's towards you. But there are some cases that we see where people are shot in the back, but like by the cops, and probably because the situation is going on, the adrenaline is rushing, the cop is in the moment that there's not enough time for the thing to click in the cop head to stop shooting. It's just everything is all at one time, pow, 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 and after the last shot is fired, the cop's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's too late.
Well,
So
then the cop made a mistake.
yeah, and
Like, but you can't tell. You can't like. I'm gonna fight like now against that. Like say, we can't let people off. Oh, it's like, oh, that's a mistake. That's not the case. Like that shouldn't be the case. You still possibly killed that guy. You intended to pull the trigger one way or another.
Right.
So there should be punishment for that. I still believe, but it's.
I think maximum force. I think the problem there is also publicity. In this day of age of YouTube, video, and everything else, all you see is the maximum force.
Yeah.
There's not someone out there showing you the videos like I saw yesterday of a police officer who was handling a situation.
you know what? So that's actually another question. Wait, no, hold on, yeah, because we're gonna get into that.
Okay,
so
I'll
let's
hold it then.
Let's go on to the next one. So, do you think some police don't know how to de-escalate situations? I can say yes. Some
Of
cops,
course. Of
some
course.
cops do not know how to properly de-escalate a situation. They add more fuel to the flame versus try to use verbal means to, okay, let me calm down this person. Especially if you see, like for example, the lady who got pulled over. Every man knows that if a woman's not in a good mood, giving her more shit to piss her off is not gonna help her out. So you have to de-escalate it. But I think some cops don't know how to de-escalate.
I think most married couples would agree with that as well.
You know, and I think it's probably because some cops they do think, okay, because I wear the badge, I don't need to have de-escalation type of skills. You're just gonna listen to me because I am a cop. But I think a lot of situations can be handled better, regardless if you're in a position of authority. If you know how to de-escalate it, so you don't have to get put in a situation of needing to use force.
Well, okay. But it leads to a previous thing I try to bring up. It depends on the situation. Like if the cop ends up running into a person that's about to jump off a bridge, he's going to try to talk them out of it. Like that's just a natural reaction of anyone. It shouldn't be like pull out your phone like everyone else does to record the situation, but you try to de-escalate it to make sure that individual doesn't jump off. It's that great. But when it comes down to it, like I feel like the position of authority is always with the cops, like with the police force, because they took an oath technically to protect us.
Right.
So that's their job to uphold the laws. So if you just follow what they have to say, like if they're throwing more fuel to the flame, it's not useful. But if you kind of just listen and just bit your tongue and just grit your teeth through it, and just it's like, okay, fine, here's the ID and stuff, and did it respectfully, they shouldn't.
But should citizens who are not trained to protect and serve, who are not the ones who are expected to protect others, should they bite their tongue, or should it be the police who are the public servants?
Both.
Well, police more so because even in the military, we're also told to have restraint because of our position.
See, that's like a very, very American idealistic, like American idea. Like I lived both in Korea and America, and that's like the one thing that I found. Like in America, is everyone thinks that they are entitled to like a right to say something.
Well, it is a freedom of speech.
It is, but at the same time, if it's going to cause more problems.
Self-preservation.
Well, that's the thing. If it's going to cause more problems, though, maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe you should hold your tongue.
But then some people don't think that way, and I know what you're saying. Some Americans, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They're like, I'm gonna say what I want to say because of that whole
freedom,
America.
Like,
you know,
I agree. I agree on both standpoints because one, as a person, you should know and have some common sense to say, hey, maybe I should slow down, or maybe I should just take back. I am of the opinion that if you are being persecuted by a police officer for something you didn't do, cooperate with the police officer and sue later.
Right.
And when it comes to being a police officer, yeah, there are some people that just can't de-escalate situations. Just like there's some people that should not be in customer service. You know, you go to those videos of McDonald's, someone's going in the window and they ask for an extra packet of ketchup and someone ends up throwing the McDonald's bag at them.
Right.
You know, I mean, some people are just not meant for customer service and some people just can't handle it no matter how much you train them.
Yeah.
It doesn't click in their head, hey, this is what needs to happen. I need to slow my roll. I need to get this situation under control in a way that is positive versus me escalating to some kind of force maneuver because I'm going to use this totalitarian mindset of I'm in charge and that's the only way it's going to be. Because you can handle a situation by de-escalating before it gets to that level.
Like you don't have to jump straight into the mace.
That's exactly what like our force training is about and everything else is taking it from this situation where someone's at the gate, I'm going to shoot him, to hey, who are you? Oh, that's who you are. Let's slow our roll back down.
With the thing where you go through the steps, like you talk to the person, stop and whatnot, and you go down or up.
Depending on how they react. And you always try to bring it back down.
There's like a way, like that sometimes it skips a level. Like let's say I'm like a 5'2", like really short, really scrawny, but I'm still a police officer, and this guy is coming up to me and he's jacked. Like huge.
Okay, wait. Before we get there,
is it another topic? Let's go.
All right, so lean into what you're about to say. So, should police use the level of force that's being used by suspects against them? So instead of them going, I'm gonna go just full Monty on you, should they just use equal to force that's being used towards them?
That goes back down to de-escalation. So if you see someone coming at you angrily, in America, the response is, I'm going to pull my weapon or taser, whichever you deem appropriate for that situation, if they're armed or not.
Right.
And you're going to tell them to stop and desist, and you're going to try to de-escalate the situation.
Well,
but sometimes
there's cases where they have shot people
with.
I'm saying appropriately.
Like this
that's
situation
the way you should
where
do it.
someone has a knife, a mentally ill person, and they probably don't know at the time that the person's mentally ill, but a person has a knife, they have a gun, and they just empty the clip on the person with the knife. Is that equal force?
No, it's not equal force. And that's what I'm saying, is that you have to present the equal force. So when it comes to
no, it's only equal force if that person was coming after you with the
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You would start off.
Then maybe not emptying the clip, but
shoot him in the leg,
or maybe like shoot him in the direction. Shoot it in the direction to make him stop. If that doesn't work, then shoot somewhere and make him stop. But don't.
I'm gonna shoot. I'll shoot in the leg, like boom, shoot him in the leg
until he stops at least.
Yeah,
and by stop, I don't mean kill.
Yeah, not kill him. Like you have a knife, all right, shoot. I don't know how to. I don't know how to take a knife with my hands, so I'm just gonna shoot you in the leg. Well, you're not dead, but you're gonna be in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Well, and then I kick the knife away from you and then arrest you and get you some medical attention. But you're still going to jail.
Well, use of force. So if someone's coming at you unarmed and you're a police officer and you've had the proper training,
right?
You're designed to think, okay, my life is important here, number one priority, that I go home to my family. That's the way all police officers are taught in America.
So, and this is my thing though.
But
I feel like you become a cop. You know what?
It's to protect and serve.
Yeah, you know, just like
the risks of being a cop.
Just like being in the military, you know the risk that you might die going to war, like going to being a cop. You know you.
But in the military, it's the same thing. You're taught to go home to your family.
No, you're taught to die for your country.
Yeah, you are.
You're taught.
That's why you signed the dotted line.
You signed the dotted line, but when they teach you force escalation techniques, they're teaching you how to stay safe.
No, at the end of the day, you are to die for your country, and that's why. And that's a whole other subject. But okay, police, and that's why I think I have an issue when cops say I want to go home to my family. Then you don't need to be in this job.
Yeah.
Because there need to be a few people who are willing to protect others by putting their lives on the line to save the greater good of people. Well, if you're going into these positions that's supposed to be protect and serve, because that's the key word, serve. It's not about you. Serve.
It's about the people.
It's about the society that you pledge to protect. So I think when we have these people in these positions that forget that they're serving, that is the purpose of servitude. Is not selfishness. Is you are giving yourself for the greater good of a society to survive. If you want to be selfish, if you want to be like I'm going home to my family, then go join a private sector security firm who is
paying
who is contracted out. Those are the type of people who need to join those type of forces where, okay, look, yeah, we're paying you, like, this is not government, this is not a municipal government, this is private sector security.
It actually almost I agree completely, but just listening to it like said out loud, it almost sounds heartless. But at the same time, that's what the job is. Like
Yeah.
it's you're putting your life to uphold the law and make sure the rest of the populace is safe from either said individual or multiple individuals.
Yeah,
But that goes back to the problem I was saying at the beginning is the way American police officers are trained is not that.
No,
They're not trained to, hey, saving this guy's life is above everything else.
No, they are.
Like when
because
the
you know why?
escalation.
That's
When the
that's a
escalation
taser.
comes towards them, if you have a knife and you're coming towards me, every police officer is trained to try to de-escalate the situation. But guess what? Within 21 feet, that guy can get to you. And if he gets within 21 feet and he's still coming at you, that police officer is going to take him down one way or another. And that's the way they are trained. That might
Well,
be the
that's fine.
basic. That might be the basic problem with servitude, because you go to England and you have the same problem. English police officers don't act that way. English police officers are calling back up. They're going to try to stay away from that person, and then they're going to get a group of people there, and they're going to take that guy down somehow
yeah, without
shooting
With-
him.
well-
But that's why I'm saying that comes down to a basic problem of how people are trained.
Yeah, but then that also comes down to them not totally understanding what being a public servant is.
It's a mindset.
Well, okay. Like the training could be different, but that's because just different ways of culture is handled. Like in America, guns are very allowed. Carrying weapons around is completely allowed. I can carry a 6-inch knife with me, and as long as it's not completely visible, no one really cares.
Right.
Like you do that in England, people are gonna and they find out, people are gonna think you're absolutely nuts. They find out that you were holding a pistol, like having even a pistol holster. You're screwed.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next. So this states some quick facts. So a study in criminal justice policy review analyzed more than 1,000 officers. This is how many they analyzed. They analyzed their behavior patterns, and what they found was only a small number of officers are actually responsible for a large portion of force incidents. But then a study in criminal justice and behavior found officers with experience and education may be less likely to use excessive force. So like, what do you think about that? Do you think, because
I think it all goes back down to training.
yeah, experience, education on how to deal with certain situations. Because you have a rookie police guy, a young guy who's full of piss and vinegar, who's like, I'm about to go beat, I'm about to save the world. They got so much in that they just end up doing something stupid.
Police officers should have more training, like what Park was saying at the beginning of the video, about where they get put in these kinds of situations where they have to think quickly. They need to learn what to expect when they're going to have to react in a situation like that. One, because you have to think about it. Okay, so you go through the simulation and you're taking down bad guys, right? You shoot this guy, you shoot that guy, you shoot this guy, you come out of simulation, oh, I did great, I totally took out the bad guy. And then your police chief comes back to you, he's like, okay, so what was the third guy wearing? He's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, so what kind of weapon did the second guy have? He's like, I think it was a gun, and he had a knife. You got to be able to learn to react appropriately.
Right, but that comes with experience and training and education.
And that's what I'm saying is that I don't think a lot of officers are given the opportunity to train effectively in situations like that, especially smaller communities where we're seeing a lot of these violent altercations come through.
Well, I think
there are towns that have like 5 officers.
There's like actual like compounds where small police force can go for training, like how
They have to.
Yeah,
Usually before
they get sent to training. They have to.
They have to do
But
it.
the one thing I wanted to bring, when it said it's only a small number of officers that cause the incidents, but then the news is the ones that make it seem like that's the majority of the officers. I think, and
that's what
It's all politics.
so the news is probably the biggest instigator of all these incidents, because like everyone gets highly emotional because we're already like on the edge. Something about it, the news is, people who watch the news are people who probably having issues with their own personal lives, having problems like money, marriage, children, job, and the moment they see something like police is beating up another person, police killing another person, everyone is like, this is it.
This is it. We're gonna protest.
We're gonna do all this BS and this and that. I'm tired of this shit. And it's
crazy.
It's crazy. And the thing is though, it's not just white cops that do these things. And I can say that It's black cops and
Black
Spanish
cops,
cops.
Latino cops.
Do they got Asian cops?
Wow.
I mean, maybe not as
We're
much.
talking about
but
America. In
definitely.
America, because you know most cops are big,
Well-
but in the news just makes it way too extreme, and everyone just gets so heated about it.
Well, okay, that I'm gonna kind of almost spin off to a different subject, but that's because news is there not to tell the world
To
not
make a profit.
Yeah, it's there to make a profit. Like
Yeah.
that's the sad part about it, because instead
Yeah.
of having the news source being there so everyone knows what's going on in the States, it's so they can make the most money. That's why if there's like a serial, like not a serial killer, but like who's that lady that killed her boyfriend, and like she got caught, and they went and built the scenario of the house, like a crime scene scenario.
From a CNN?
Yeah,
With
like,
their,
Yeah,
not
with
just-
their little
not just-
3D.
with their 3D stuff?
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. There's no reason for that. It's like, okay, this lady killed her husband.
It's all speculation
The
too.
end. That's,
Done.
That's how it should
Done.
be. Instead of like,
Kill that
oh,
bitch.
we're gonna follow her
Life
we're gonna-
story.
We're gonna actually not just her. We're gonna talk to all the jurors that are participating. That's all bullshit.
We gotta
It's
talk to our
unnecessary.
friends. Like, what type of person was she?
Oh, she was like,
You know, she used to come to the neighborhood
That's
block
useless.
parties all the time.
I think the public, I think the media overplays a lot of things, and you can see how it's changing the police forces right now. So take the case of the Officer Slam, as he's called.
Yeah.
Officer Slam
Oh, yeah.
pulled a student out of her desk, used the escalation of force that was inappropriate, pulled the student out of her desk.
did the student listen to the officer?
She was not listening to the officer, but the point is he used a use of force that was excessive
Yeah.
for the situation.
But
But that's a side note. What happened there was, with the media, as soon as someone saw it, it was like through the roof, big deal. Okay, so before, a couple years ago, the police department would have stood by him. The police department would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
like, oh, he used proper force techniques, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
But
now
now that video, because the way the media is changing public opinion and everything else, they have to go, oh, he's fired.
it's
like-
another huge topic.
Yo,
that
I'm gonna end it.
go into.
I'm gonna end this one on this. So, I seen the video of that incident, but then I seen another video as well. But at the end of the day, there's an issue in American society on both parts. It's an issue on the public servant side, like the officers, and an issue on the citizen side, and it's because of these issues. It's causing friction among both parties. I feel like citizens should understand how to respect authority figures more, but then it comes down to it going back to the home. You know, I think a lot of it stems from the home. If these kids, if not just kids, if people aren't taught how to respect their own parents, what makes you think they're gonna respect any authority figure like an officer? So it always goes back to home with me. And then with officers are the same type of people who I'm saying are citizens, but now they put on the uniform, and they probably don't even have authority. They probably, before they wore the uniform, they probably thought similar how citizens did, where I don't have to respect you because, you know, blase, blase. But now they're officers. They feel, okay, now I have this badge. You have to respect me. But at the same time, I might have been the same way you were when you was a citizen and didn't really have respect for officers. So I think it's some real rooted issues that needs to be addressed on both sides. It's not just the police fault. It's not just citizens' fault. It's both sides' fault. It's our fault as a society. And until we fix the big picture, that everything, we're gonna still have these issues, especially because the media makes everything bigger than what it needs to be, because the media sucks. Fox and CNN.
Chicken noodle news.
I said Fox and CNN suck because they only focus on the harsh, they focus on a small portion of the big part, the big thing that's going as wrong.
Not just that. What they usually do is like they.
It's one-sided.
As news anchors, they instead of just telling the news, they give their opinion, and that opinion actually becomes
Fact.
people's opinions, like that are watching.
Yeah, I'm
them.
like,
And then just replay it
Yeah.
24/7 for the next 3 weeks.
yep.
So it's the best way to make money for them.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for watching our first episode of Coffee Talk. I am Nola. This is ParkyPark, and this is Wonder. Tune in. We will be posting videos every Wednesday each week, and about various topics. So below, comment on our videos. Tell us if you want to tell us about a subject, a topic you want to talk about, and make sure you like and share this video. And there'll be our contact information be in the description box, so you can keep in touch with us. And it's Von Nola, baby.
It's Von Nola, baby.